Hi, Susan. This is Max Clausen, and I want to give you the market analysis that I created for your uh, condominium in Town Square Lofts. I've sold quite a few of them in there. I'm very familiar with the floor plans, but I go to Public Records and see what they have to say. So they're calling it a two-bedroom. It does not have the egress window in the second bedroom, which is very much necessary for a bedroom. And appraisers are going to look at that as a one bedroom unit all day long because it does not have egress. And that's a very important feature for a bedroom. It must have two ways to get out. If you can't get out of the front door or the bedroom door because there is a fire, you need to have an option of a window. So when the appraisers look at this and they're comparing it to other condominiums that have recently sold in the vicinity within 2 miles, let's say, of this condo, they're not going to be looking at two bedroom units because they're going to be calling this a one bedroom. So it's one bedroom, one bath, 1/2 bedrooms, whatever, 806 square feet. And I remember when your unit sold, when you bought that unit, I remember because I had a listing myself that was very similar in size. It was the same configuration, maybe a little bit smaller or slightly different in the square footage, very, very slightly different, but it had that secondary bonus room with one other bathroom. And I sold that one for much more than the 170 that you paid for this. So at any time, you can hit pause on this and take a closer look at what's on the screen if I'm scrolling too quickly. But nothing has sold as cheaply as yours sold when you bought it 2 years ago. So that's good news for you. That gives you some room. I think that those people, the realtor couple, the husband and wife that owned it, they undersold the property, but that gives you some bonus equity there. So what I do is I take this information and then I do a MLS search. And so I go to the Metrolist system and I pull up Town Square Lofts. So all of these are the properties that sold in the last year. These three have sold, and this one is currently active and on the market. So three properties have sold, one is currently on the market. And I take this data and I download it into my own spreadsheet so I can separate it out. I can make it bigger, easier to read, find averages, and do some calculations. So here I have the information in my own spreadsheets and I separate it out. So I have the one that's currently active and on the market. It's been on the market for 3 weeks. It's a bigger unit. It's an actual full official two bedrooms, two baths, and about 1,100 square feet. They're currently on the market for 235. And I think that it's a little bit overpriced. I sold the last one that I sold in here um, was about 6 months ago, and it was a two bedroom, two bath, very similar in size, slightly larger by 20 square feet. And I sold it for 230. The difference is that it was more updated, and I can show that to you in a second. The one that I sold at 230 was more updated. It had a much bigger patio, and so I'm not certain that they're going to be able to get this 235 for that one. Um, when I look at the solds, and that's what appraisers are going to be looking at is the solds, because they would look at this active and say, well, that's not a real number, this 235. We have to wait until it actually sells and we figure out what somebody's willing to pay for it, because right now nobody's willing to pay that 235 for it. So appraisers look at sold properties, and these are the last three that sold in the last year. And this one again is a two bedroom, two bath, official two bedroom unit, and it was the most expensive sale. And then these two are more like yours. These bedrooms are really, there's this bonus room in the back behind the kitchen. And then one of them is very much like yours, has one bathroom, and the other one actually had two bathrooms. So when we find the averages, They were on average a little bit larger than yours. On average, they had two baths. Yours has one, and then there's the bedroom situation. It's really a one bedroom, but we market it as two bedrooms. The average days on the market, these that sold went fairly quickly, an average of a week on the market, and the average price for this entire group is 215. But the one that's most comparable to yours is this one, Unit 303, and I actually sold that one, and it was about a year ago. So it was 9, 10 months ago. So let's take a closer look at the actual properties and see how they compare. So again, as we look through these units, you can see that there was four. Three of the sales, I sold three of them, and then another Remax person sold one of the others, the only other one. So if we take a look at the two-bedroom, two-bath unit and see how it compares as far as the fix-up. So I do have take professional quality photographs. And this one had a huge patio. It was on the first floor. It's actually unit 221, I think. But that first floor of apartments or condominiums is right above the garage, so it's that upper patio is quite large. This one had almost 40 feet long of patio, so it was pretty impressive. There's the patio, and it had tile floor throughout, new tile and stainless steel cabinets, and they updated the kitchen quite a bit. It had some nice colors to it. It did have original linoleum countertops, but that tile was throughout, so they got rid of the carpeting. Again, you can stop this if you want to take a closer peek. I'm just kind of clicking through. But it was very nicely featured. That is the master bedroom, and then this is the master bathroom. So the master bathroom, pretty original stuff with that light bar and original equipment, linoleum on the floor. And I've been having difficulties with my images here, but this image that's not showing up is the secondary bedroom that was an official bedroom with a window in it. If we go to the next property, and this one is also, let's see, who sold that one? Yeah, I sold this one. This one is the one that's most closely similar to yours. But this was Mike Kent. Maybe you might know him from living in the property. He did a lot of fixing up. He had this cove molding installed all the way around, and he installed wires to do surround sound speakers. So it was very nicely furnished and updated. And he filled in this area. He had a carpenter come in, and this used to be open to that bonus room, and it no longer is. And so he added a bunch of cabinets behind there above the closet to add more storage space. So this one had quite a bit of storage space, but it's very similar in size and configuration to yours. The 1/2 bedrooms with one bath. And that one sold for $204, but he had really done a really nice job on the kitchen and had this double oven kind of stove here and granite and tile and the fancy lighting. So he spent some time and effort and money into the updating of the property, and he had fancy craftsman style fans that matched his furniture. Again, he had all that surround sound and the cove molding. Uh, so, but there's some original stuff in there. But the lighting was all updated, so it doesn't have that ball uh, bulb type thing. This is the entryway, lots of nice storage. Most of those units have really nice storage. So this is the bonus room. Up above you can see just a hint of those cabinets that he installed in the space, in that void that is usually open to the kitchen. And so that one had a eastern view. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure you were looking to the east on that one. So that one's the most comparable to yours, and it sold for 204. And then if we look at the next one is very similar in size to yours, but it has the 1/2 bedrooms with this bonus room behind the kitchen, and then it had 2 bathrooms, so it had a guest bath. This one has original countertops and cabinets and backsplash and black with the coil stoves. So looks like original appliances. And you could see the opening with the fan. That's that bonus room behind. So this is kind of what I'm picturing yours as, is original but very nicely finished. Newer flooring and paint, maybe some updated lighting, and nice appliances and original laminate countertops. And all of the patios are different. On this level, they're generally larger, and then on the third and fourth floor, they are combined and generally a little bit smaller unless you get on to an end unit. So the patios are kind of a big deal because it could add quite a bit of summertime living space. This one has a pretty generous sized patio. So because I'm familiar with the building, and I pulled it up on MetroList, I have a pretty good idea of what yours is like, but I do need to lay eyes on it to come up with a final valuation. But looking at my analysis, keeping in mind that this was the most comparable to yours as far as size and bed bath configuration, and it sold for 204, I think yours should be priced right around 200, remembering that one had quite a bit of updating with the cosmetics on the inside. That's where I think that you would be able to sell yours, right at that $200,000 price point. So I need to look. Sometimes people have more than one car space. One of them that I sold a while back had no car spaces in the covered underground secured cage there. So I need to check on that. But I just need to basically lay eyes on yours. I'd like to maybe see if we could schedule an appointment where I could come and see your property, talk to you more extensively about how I market this. The Town Square Lofts, I do some real special marketing there. I have a lot of experience with Town Square, and I know some little tips and tricks that I can do to get it in front of people that normally wouldn't see that Town Square Lofts, because it's such a unique building in an area that doesn't have a lot of comparable buildings around it. It fits in better into that Stapleton North area than any other place. There are some things going to the east and slightly north finally being built out there, but right now there still is nothing quite as nice as Town Square in that area. So you have the Montbello area that a lot of people need to get over. Some people aren't looking for a home that close, but it's outside of Montbello. The Gateway area is very similar again to Stapleton North, but they're separated by Montbello, which is not at all like either of them. So if you want to give me a call, 303-726-0867, 303-726-0867. We can schedule a time to meet, look at your place, talk about what it's going to take to get it on the market. It shouldn't be too long. I got to get in there and take some photos and measurements and really get a lot of good marketing material together, but that shouldn't take very long. Right now, we're in a very slow time in the market because of the holidays. People that have the option to not put their house on the market or to not go shopping to purchase a home, they generally opt out during the holidays. So this always, every year, year after year, this December time period is always the slowest time. But as soon as January rolls around, it ramps up again and it increases. It just kind of grows and grows until the springtime. So January is a very good time to get it on the market. It's not a bad time right now to get it on the market because it's a very unique property and a price point that's hard for people to find. So again, 303-726-0867.